Let's do it. We'll start right down here on this side.
Coach, could you talk about Darius Miller and the lift he's given you?
Well, he's been really good. These last 2.5, 3 weeks, he's been as good as anybody. I told him at the beginning of the year my vision for him was to be the best player in our league. And I don't know if he believed me, but I didn't change. And he showed signs of it different games, but there was no consistency. Then he'd go one game and get no points and 2 rebounds. And now these last 3 weeks, he has performed. If we've had 12, 13, 14 big shots, like Brandon made, half of them have been made by Darius. A big 3, big free throws, a big layup. He's made half of them. So he's really turned around, and I'm proud of him.
We'll go in front here.
Coach, lots been made about your friendship with Huggins. I'm just
I
curious.
can't stand Bob Huggins.
He said the same thing I do. Why do you think you guys do get along? I mean, competitive people. What about it?
Well, we're from the same neck of the woods. I mean, I remember him when he was at Walsh College. I remember him before that, when he'd come to the Pitt Fieldhouse in the old day. No one got booed like Bob. I'm not even sure he was allowed in Duquesne's building because I think he screamed at B.B. Flannery very hard one game, if I remember right. But I remember him back then. Joe Frizz, who was a teammate of mine, ended up going to West Virginia and was a teammate of Bob's. So I followed West Virginia closely because of Joe. And you know, and I've just followed his career. I can remember him at Walsh when he was getting it done, and I can remember him at camps going up to him. I was still a counselor and talking to him. So, and our paths have crossed, and obviously we've stayed friends. And in this profession, that's not easy.
Let's go over here.
On a similar line, Bob said that you know, not winning a national championship in some cases, or in his case, it's just a matter of luck, you know, or in his case, a lack of luck, I guess. I guess my question is it really that simple? Does it really come down to that? I mean, is that how thin the line is?
You know, it's funny. I just saw Tyus Edney make that shot against Missouri, and UCLA won that national title. Kentucky won it when Tubby's team went to overtime. In 2 bounces of the ball, 1 bounce of the ball, they don't get to play Utah. So there is some of that. Some of it's just you got enough players and they're talented and they're veteran, but luck plays a part of all of it. I don't think, you know, some of it's the luck of the draw. Who are you with? Who are you playing against? And how are they playing? I would imagine there have been teams that have not won a national championship because they played the national champion and they were the second best team. I can remember we played Kentucky, and at that time they didn't see the tournament this way. That's basically why they changed it, because we played in a semifinal. That should have been the last game. And we played a team with 9 or 10 NBA players on it. I mean, I had a good team now. Marcus Camby, Edgar Padilla, Carmelo Travieso, Dante Bright, Dana Dingle, Tyrone Weeks. You want me to keep going? I'll name them all. But I had a terrific team. So, but that's part of it. And I think, again, where you're coaching, you know, there are guys, Jim Larinaga gets to a Final Four at Mason. Well, he won the national title. Won the national title. I mean, come on. I mean, there are guys who have not won it or been to Final Fours that I think are Hall of Fame coaches. Gene Cady comes to mind. I mean, you know, John Chaney is in the Hall of Fame, you know, but so it's where you're coaching and all those things play a part too.
We'll go over on this side now.
Coach, I was just kind of wondering, with the relationship you and Bob have, does it put any kind of extra spin on it when you guys recruit against each other? You know, for instance, you know, like Devin a couple years ago, Deron, you know, this last year. Obviously, you guys are close, but this is kind of a different spin. I was just wondering if there's...
I don't take recruiting personal. If the families decide that they want to play something for another coach, whether it's Bob or anybody else, I move on. I don't take a whole lot of transfers, so when kids call and say I made a mistake, I'd like to come, I never take them. You got the first round and that's it, because we moved on to other guys. And I just don't, I've never yelled at a coach or a player for not coming with me, and I wish you luck and hope you do well unless we play, and I hope we smash you if we play. I mean, so even with Bob or anybody, I tried real hard not to take the stuff personal, move on to the next young man who really wants to play for us or me personally.
Go down in front here.
Coach, can you clear up a little bit of the legend here? Coach Huggins insists he knows the story better because A, he was there, and 2, he was the one dying. But can you clear up this, the ambulance, nephew story? What is this, cousin, nephew?
He was out cold, and he tells you he remembers everything. He was out. He knew something was wrong. He sat down on a curb at the Pittsburgh airport, and the ambulance comes up, and it's my cousin. And he goes and figures out who it is, and we're gonna have to get my cousin, because you know Bob does embellish. And he said, you know, I'm Coach Calipari's cousin, and I'm here, you're gonna be fine. And that's when Bob said, oh my gosh, I'm not making it. So, but that was a scary thing. Let me just tell you, it was, can't remember where I was, but I flew back to Pittsburgh because I heard about it, because it was scary. And, you know, because he's such a big, tough guy, which he's a teddy bear. I mean, he's not, but he comes across as like he wants to fight. No, he does want to fight everybody, but he comes across. But reality is, you know, here's a guy, you know, June was there, you know, family was there, and he had the paddles, you know, and you know, he's one of those guys that, you know, now he takes care of himself, he's doing what he's supposed to, and it was just scary, you know, for us and for, you know, for anybody that's his friend or his friend of his family, so. But I can't remember. He says, his story is, my cousin hasn't beaten you yet, so you gotta live, is that what it is? Yeah. Oh my. Do I got to play this guy tomorrow?
Next question, we'll go down here on this side, please.
John, we hear a lot about your offense. A, could you describe what it is? And B, both your players said the offense sort of is part of what attracted them. Why do top players want to play in that offense?
There was the motion offense where don't bounce the ball. They talk about Coach Rupp and his former players. Mike Pratt, who travels with us and does radio, said the ball, all he wanted to hear was squeaking feet. And that ball was not to hit the floor. Well, you know, it's kind of evolved now. Now, guys are more athletic. They can get by you. They can put it on the floor. You get to the foul line more. The reason I went to the dribble drive motion was points per possession. I think your efficiency is better because you try to get layups or open threes. You're trying to get to the foul line. You're not going to have a whole lot of assists, but you're not going to have a whole lot of turnovers either. So your efficiency is better. Kids like to see it. They look at it and say, he lets them play. Well, there's organization to what we're doing. It's not just, here, go do your thing. Obviously, when they watch it on TV, they may think it. The other side of it is you got to be in great condition. You got to be tough. Because when you drive, they're not just letting you drive. You're going to get bumped, jammed. Can you keep going? Or do you spin away? You shoot fadeaways. But what it does is it unleashes players. They feel good that they can drive left or right. There's no, you have to drive that. You can drive wherever you want, and we'll play off of you. This year we're running dribble drive, but we're doing it different because we need guys to have a little space. So we're doing some handoffs, some back cuts, some different things. We're doing pick and rolls more than I have in the past. I never wanted to bring a guy to Derrick Rose, and now I see him in the NBA. I probably should have brought a guy to Derrick Rose. But we didn't do it with Tyreek, and we didn't do it with John Wall. They were so fast and long and active, they didn't need another defender. In college, if you brought 2 defenders to the ball, they were going to stay with the best player. And then you're going to pass the ball to a player that's not quite as good. So I just kept the guys away. This team, we're kind of bringing them together to create for both guys. So there's things we're doing different, but the concept is, you know, we want to beat you on the dribble.